Thank you for being here. We are very excited. We have amazing agenda planned. We have 10 awesome startups that we're going to be talking about today of our current cohort that have been working for the last 3 months with us, and they are ready to present. And right after that, we have a panel on AI. We'll discuss that a little bit further. I would like to hand over the mic to my co-founder and partner in crime, Mr. Prakash Goswami. He and I started MARL almost 5 years ago now.
Yep.
It's a big mark for us very soon. It will be in September, October. We'll be celebrating a 5-year anniversary of MARL. So, without further ado, Prakash, please take it away.
All right. Thank you, Amir. Thank you, Luis. And thank you all for joining for another demo day. And some of you are already know about us. And for some who are new to this cohort, I'll just go through quick few slides about MARL, and then we'll start the pitches. So we are an early stage deep tech accelerator fund. We do take the early revenue, little pilot stage companies and take them through 12 weeks of program, hands-on working with them and make them seed fund ready. So these are the couple of criteria that we look for, solving deep tech pain point. At least they should have 6 months of runway. There are some working prototype in place and tech founders. So these are the kind of high level basic criteria that we look for in our startups. This is the kind of priorities that we give while selecting. So whoever has gone through our program, they met these criteria. And for the future startups who wants to be, this is the kind of preview so that you can have the right expectation set up and while applying for our accelerator. What we do, we have some investment, we open up our connections and 700 plus K the in parks of various services under the B2B SaaS. So this is a pretty simple, we try to keep it simple. We take this early stage idea, prototype and pilot, apply our process, and our goal is to get to seed ready, seed or series A readiness. We have we started initially with the Bay Area focused approach, and then back in 2020 January, and then COVID came and it made us go global, and we stayed virtual since then, and we have several countries our startups are from, and we were able to add value in their entrepreneurship journey. So this is how it looks like, our current portfolio. We are very excited and very proud of our startups that we have. This is the previous all cohort companies, and today these are the new ones. So I want to celebrate with all of you and thank you founders for making it to this point. And it's a great journey so far, working with each of you, and we will go through your pitches shortly. So this is our team and extended part of the team. We are always looking for venture partners and summer interns. So if you are interested, any of you are interested in being any of these roles, please reach out. Don't hesitate to contact us. Also, if you know anyone who will be in the summer intern category, please refer us. We have these are the LPs or investment partners, as well as we have mentors from the industry experience. And today's demo day is specifically sponsored by these two companies, Carta and One Valley. Carta is already, they are the cap table management platform. And not only that, they have a very good newsletters, and they do very well articulate data points and how the industry trend is going, how the VC investment trend is happening. So it is a very good, excellent newsletter that I see. One Valley is our Parks partner. So we provide our startups the Parks software startup Parks on B2B through them. So please check out. So with that said, I will not take any of your valuable time. Luis, I want to hand you over to the pitches now.
Sounds good. All right.
Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Jorge Garza, and I am the founder and CEO of BP. And we are the Tour for Businesses. We're on a mission to put the park fleet to a better use. Currently, the business car rental can take up to 2 to 4 hours in order to rent a car for an employee. And the average cost can go up to $85 a day or more. At the same time, we have car owners that have a low usage on their cars, and they have super high financing, depreciation, and maintenance prices that can rise up to $750 per month just to own a car. Now, we have BP as a solution. We make business car rental easy, where the average time spent through BP is no more than 15 minutes per rental. We can reduce the daily rental costs by at least 20%, and we reduce the overall complexity by connecting car owners with business needs. Now, as for car owners, well, we offer them to increase the usage time, hence lower the insurance premium, as well as making some money. As of today, we have saved more than 72 tons of CO2 through rentals. This is the team. Eric Luna, he's my co-founder. He's a sales strategy and expansion expert with a lot of experience in companies like Mondelez. And myself, I've been in the car rental industry and owner of Rentafast for more than 20 years. How does BP work? It's super easy. You just register, discover, you book a car, and you drive it. As easy as that. Our revenue streams come from car owners. We charge a commission that goes from 15 to 35%. And then we do an upsell on the insurance to the business user. In the future, we plan to develop more products and services for both parts, as well as do data mining. The market size on 2022 looked something like this, where we had in the continent $63 billion, in the US 12.4, and in the current market we're aiming 1.9 billion, which is Mexico total bookings on 2022. This is the traction for our last 12 months. We have gained up to 1,200 users, more than 220 cars, and we've completed more than 500 rental days. About the competition, we are the only ones that are actually business-focused solution, and we offer an eco rewards program. The milestones we're aiming to, we want to develop this product. First, the business rental system, which we're almost complete. Then we're gonna integrate some AI pricing, some reward programs, host administration tools, all the way to get to infinite mobility, which is upload any kind of mobility. By January 2027, we expect to have 40,000 users, 20,000 cars, an MRR of 1 million, where we plan to start a Series A round in order to expand to Latin America and the US. Now, these are some testimonials from our users and hosts as well. As you can see, everybody's happy. So, what are we asking for? Well, we want to raise $500,000 through a save note that we will use mostly on product development. We need to hire a certain amount of developing team members, as well as some client support members, sales, and fleet representatives. If you're interested, please do scan the QR code and I'm at your service. Hope to hear from you guys soon.
Hi, everyone. My name is Mubarak. I'm the founder and CEO at Better Life. Yeah, at Better Life, we're a digital operating system for blood supply in developing countries. On the 5th of May 2022, I lost my aunt due to postpartum hemorrhage. We waited over 72 hours to get a compatible match, but unfortunately for us, she lost her life. Aside my aunt, 8 women out of 1,000 died during childbirth. Today's blood supply system in Africa is inefficient and expensive. Patients record 4 days delay before they could get access to their blood. Healthcare facilities spend over $60 per pint. We face issues of fragmented supply chain. We also face issues of mismatch errors. How are we solving this problem? With our API infrastructure, we are able to connect the demand and the supply. When we talk about the demand, guys, we talk about the patients, we talk about the hospitals. And we talk about the supplies, guys, we talk about the blood banks and the donors. So Better Life, with our AI-powered digital blood supply platform, we are able to save a lot of time. Patients that have to wait 4 days before can now get their blood in just 2 hours. Also, with our smart inventory, blood banks can be able to forecast demand. In that way, they're able to streamline operations and reduce wastage, ultimately saving more lives. We are also able to optimize logistics, reducing costs by 25% for hospitals. We are also able to compatibly match patients with the compatible blood types they required. We have our products live on Apple Store and Play Store, just like you can see here. Patients at any point can simply request for blood and they get their blood delivered to them in due time. We also have our web dashboard that allow hospitals request for blood on behalf of patients during emergency, and blood banks can simply accept these requests and get the blood delivered to them in due time. The demand for blood, according to Alive Market Research globally, is about $15 billion. And we are targeting West Africa and African markets, and we are looking at a market share of about $80 million in Nigeria. How do we make money? We charge $10 as connection fee for connecting hospitals and blood banks. We also charge these blood banks $20 as a subscription fee for using our platform. How we are growing rapidly, as you can see, by the end of 2025, we'll have onboarded 50 hospitals, which allow us to record $50,000 in monthly recurring revenue. We are also going to reduce blood wastage by 30%. We're also going to have impacted over 75,000 lives. We're also going to improve the patient's outcome by 10%. We're also going to save over $200,000 for our healthcare facilities. How are we different? How are we unique? Better Life, at Better Life, time matters to us. We are promoting real-time communication, as you can see here. A timely blood transfusion would mean the difference between life and tragedy. If you look at our competitors, they operate the traditional system, and this causes a lot of time wastage. Our team is made up of what young and vibrant individuals who have committed themselves full-time in building Better Life. As an healthcare specialist, this has positioned me well to building the solution. As you can see, my co-founder with over 10 years as a full-stack web developer. And we also have Irene Kivia with over 15 years in marketing, media, and communication. We also have Dr. Ademola Adewoye, who have over 16 years experience as a consultant hematologist and has worked with notable labs like Synlab and Evercare Hospital. We are looking to raise $400,000 to accelerate our product development, hire new talents, and skyrocket our market expansion. What does our customer say? We've partnered with the National Blood Service Commission, and currently we've piloted with the National Blood Service Commission to allow us to demonstrate our product feasibility. We also partner with the Federal Ministry of Health, which would give us access to over 100 hospitals by the end of 2026. Better Life is growing rapidly, so don't afford to miss this train now. As you will all agree, blood cannot be manufactured, and the demand is going to be till the end of time. We have thousands of accident victims out there. We have patients undergoing chemotherapy. We have all our mothers in need of blood during labor. We have a lot of sickle cell patients out there. We have a lot of people undergoing heart surgeries. They all need blood. If you think you care for those who care, at Better Life, we are ready to talk to you. Thank you all for listening.
Hi everyone, this is Hassam Jafari and I'm grateful to be here today after a wonderful acceleration program by MARL. Imagine one day Eventbrite was walking in the park lonely and he meets Salesforce and Instagram and they make good friends. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Buzzable. Buzzable is the first SRM platform that connects brands to their ideal customers. We are pre-seed, post-product, post-revenue, working with big names and making good buzz. I was a lonely immigrant student. I attended events and made friends. So I decided to host a small events in San Francisco. Those small events scaled to thousands of people. I was able to turn $30 into $90,000 with a New Year's Eve event. Now I just happily engaged to my fiance, whom I met in a Persian New Year's Eve event. So our goal is to create 1 billion communities and make $100 billion. $740 billion digital ad expenditure is projected for 2024, and yet 80% of people ignore ads. And worse, cookies will be dying by end of this year. Events are the new ads. Brands love it, marketers love it. After pandemic, events are skyrocketing. And more importantly, 70% of attendees become regular customers after attending an event. I met Rick, managing director of HSBC, in the event he was sponsoring, and he said the reason he loves events is that one handshake is equal to 100 phone calls, and one phone call is equal to 100 emails. So the solution is Buzzable, the first sponsorship relationship management platform that connects brands to their ideal customers. Currently, event industry is $1.4 trillion globally and is set to become a $2.2 trillion giant. It's expected that businesses will pour $1.1 trillion into sponsorships, and we are going to be the first company taking advantage of this opportunity. In the event competitive landscape, no one makes buzz like we do. See, all of our competitors are only ticketing platforms. We are the first platform having an SRM capability, and in the AI boom, we are also the first to implement AI natively. Moreover, I'm proud of our strong, dedicated team, Michael, Ayumi, James, and Michael, and an agile team that brings extensive background in software development, sales and marketing, event promotion and production, and being previous founders, we are on a path to make Buzzable a global phenomenon. Our advisory team is even stronger. Dan, a 4-time founder who took HubSpot from $0 to $2 billion in sales, Nikki, who's a community builder and technical lead at Apple, Glenn, the marketing manager at We, Ainul, SVP of Condé Nast, Philip, the president of Bay Angels, and Andrew, who did IPO for Facebook. Buzzable product is AI powered, and brand can quickly discover events, compare, sponsor, and receive all the insight and ROI right in the dashboards. It's a fully integrated all-in-one vertical solution available on web, iOS, and Android that enables event organizers to create and promote their events, attendees to attend, and pump the attendees' engagement to the sponsorship platform. Our business model is B2B SaaS, and for brands, we provide tiered services that revolves around discoverability, analytics and reporting, access and integration, and support. For event organizers, we also provide tiered services that revolves around visibility to their sponsors and a sponsorship fee, ability to invite their audiences with our email and SMS marketing tools, and ticket fees and support. Since our soft launch in January 2024, we have worked with big names and have made good buzz. Currently, we are working with more than 15 brands, including Citizens Bank, Carta, who is sponsoring this demo day, TriNet, and HSBC. We are helping more than 25 prominent event organizers in the Silicon Valley, including Silicon Zombies, Ignite, Bay Angels, Open Future Forum, Founders Village, and Startup Grind. And we have brought more than 2,000 attendees together. Our 18 months roadmap includes expanding from San Francisco to LA and New York, building more sponsor access, deep analytics, train an AI model, and more integrations. And by 2025 Q2, we are anticipating to hit $1 million in sales from signing up 1,000 creators and securing 300 sponsorships. We have a rolling $250K angel round closed opportunity open. Out of that, 100K is closed and another 50K is closing soon. Our investors include MARL and top executives of giant companies. We also have Google Cloud and legal backing. We are targeting July 1st to close the round. The funds will be used toward product development, marketing, and sales and operations. That being said, we might be open to an oversubscribed round. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed my presentation and you're excited to join Buzzable in this journey. For the closing note, I would like to quote Bayard Taylor, a famous American poet who had 4,000 people attending his poem reading event, a record that stood for 85 years. He said, "Opportunity is rare, and a wise man will never let it go by him." Thank you very much.
Hello everyone, I'm Shravan Puttagunta, CEO of Hyperspec AI. Our mission is to revolutionize geospatial intelligence with advanced technology, providing high-quality, actionable multimodal data. In 2018, California had a fire that ravaged 2 million people, burning 25,000 homes, leaving 800,000 people without power and a $2 billion bill to PG&E from regulatory bodies. Overburdened by this gargantuan task, PG&E almost filed bankruptcy. We believe people want to live in functional and efficient cities that prioritize their quality of life. We exist to provide transportation companies with actionable geospatial intelligence through high-frequency multimodal data. Incumbent geospatial data providers such as NV5 fail to provide timely multimodal data with the ability to see under the tree canopies. NV5 surveys the energy grid once every 6 months and is unable to refresh the data more frequently than that. Planet Labs has a daily coverage but is unable to provide a resolution better than 30 centimeters per pixel. At their core, utility companies need to survey 185 million poles nationwide in order to make sure they're built according to code. This means they need to inspect the pole for vegetation ingress, tilt, warping, abnormal structures, anomalies in temperatures, or abnormal tension on something leaning on the power lines. Our unique solution is essentially capturing multimodal geospatial data using a mix of customer fleet vehicles and rideshare vehicles equipped with LiDAR, hyperspectral cameras, and RTK GPS sensors. On our backend in the cloud, we use a proprietary large vision model called RoadGraph that essentially converts the sensor data into geospatial analytics. This data is made available to our customers through our marketplace. My founding experience includes interning at Hewlett-Packard at the age of 13, being the author on 8 patents, being an early employee at a billion-dollar startup called Samba TV, being the founding CEO at Civil Maps, helping build HD maps for self-driving applications, and at Hyperspec AI, I've assembled a team of highly talented individuals that with the focus on mapping and artificial intelligence, with different segments such as product, engineering, operations, and research as well. Currently, we've deployed a couple of vehicles in the Bay Area, and so far we mapped about 40% of Bay Area roads. We're averaging about 400 to 500 kilometers per day per car, and we've reduced the surveying cost from $2.50 per mile to $2 per mile. Our prospective market for integrating sensor kits is around 400,000 fleet vehicles from across 30 utility companies, and then 2 million Uber vehicles across North America and Europe. Our monetizations initially focused on data acquisition, but it's quickly transitioning to map analytics. In 2024, roughly 70% of our revenue comes from data acquisition, but by the year 26, we'll have 90% of our revenue coming from the map licensing. So this is a big market. Collectively, the top 10 utility companies generate about 1.2 trillion in revenue per year, and this is growing at a 56% year-over-year rate. Demand for AI, data centers, GPUs, electric vehicles will only accelerate this in the future, and it's our job to basically help build a foundation for ensuring the infrastructure keeps up with the demand. Also, every utility company has around 200 subcontractors that specialize in inspections, maintenance, and vegetation management. So our plan is to integrate our sensor kit with utilities, but also ride-hailing drivers to create a robust data acquisition plan. Our initial market is going to focus on data acquisition, but as we expand into map licensing, we can target different segments, and then eventually when we have the largest multimodal data set in the world, we can train and license general purpose embodied AI models targeting the $2 trillion labor market. Although we initially focused on utilities, our data can be easily repurposed for different applications. So we can scale horizontally across different segments and expand our revenue with minimal operational overhead. So we're really differentiated by our ability to capture high frequency, high resolution multimodal data while simultaneously not being cost prohibitive. And then the cool thing is we have data ownership of the data, so we can find different cross licensing opportunities, which gives us a lot of upside on the revenue side. So our blended mix of ride-hailing vehicles and customer fleet vehicles gives us that flexibility while having a scalable deployment strategy. With 1.5 million in the bank, we can retrofit around 30 vehicles. We can scale up our operations, expand our patents, and grow our revenue to around 1.5 million. And so we essentially invite you to join us on this journey to build more scalable and livable cities. And if you're excited by the work that what we have to offer, please reach out to me via email or LinkedIn.
Hi there, my name is BC Obateru. I am the founder and CEO of Justy Guide. Our mission at Justy Guide is to empower immigration journeys and simplify the complexities that immigrants face today during their immigration process. Meet Maria. Maria is unlike most immigrants today, having to face a myriad of challenges, from finding legal support to complicated language barriers and just even getting help and knowledge around what is needed for her to do. These processes can take up to 9 years for immigrants to be able to legally work. And during that time, they are going through constant pressure and other challenges affected by their inability to gain some status, a legal status in the US. Maria is not alone. Immigrants can take anywhere from 6 to 8 months to find legal support, being that they also have to make it to the United States before they can start their asylum workflow. We're seeing now that there's a backlog and up to 9 years of a wait time to get your citizenship. And we are over 5,000 lawyers short of the current need. It is almost easier to illegally cross this country than to migrate legally because of the myriad of challenges immigrants face in getting their paperwork. They often put it aside. And this is where we come in. Build a platform to expedite and make the process so easy for our immigrants, from the language multilingual agent to also helping them with the paperwork and helping them do all the data gathering and then connecting them to lawyers. This loop makes it easy to bridge the gaps. Most lawyers today can spend anywhere from 10 hours to 3 days collecting data, scheduling appointments, and calling to schedule conversations just to understand their cases better. All of this is compressed with our platform, where the lawyer can send all that information and the immigrant talks to our agent, does all the data gathering, speaks to the agent in their language, and is met with a lot of compassion and empathy for the trauma that they've sometimes gone through fleeing their home countries. This allows us to help lawyers serve immigrants better. And for this, we're all in one platform where lawyers can get leads and scale their impact, because now they can serve more immigrants at a very short amount of time. And this allows for more immigrants to be served and grow as the growing demand for immigration help continues to increase year to year. We have 2 platforms. Our direct consumer platform makes it easy for the consumer to speak in their language to get support and get legal or form filling support with our agent. And the lawyer dashboard allows lawyers to be able to track and receive and deny cases as needed. This is a burgeoning market. It's a $4.2 billion legal tech market, starting with the asylum case. And if we are able to do this, we can branch into other spaces like employment verification, healthcare integration, and other financial services. This is the right time for this opportunity, and we are very excited to be at the forefront. Some of our partners from companies like Nuego and Latinan. Nuego is a company that is working with some of the largest visa processing companies to help with employment and international hiring. And Latinan is focused on really supporting unaccompanied minors as they come into the US with their Form I-589, which is the asylum form. Our team is small but mighty, and we believe that with this team, we can really build something really special. 40% of Fortune 500 companies are founded by immigrants. Just a fun fact. We're asking for 1.5 million pre-seed round to be able to hire critical roles, scale our infrastructure, finalize integrations with legal CRMs, and focus on our compliance and regulation. This will allow us to gain profitability. We'll be able to reach a revenue of 5 million by the end of 2026. This is Claudia Besto, who's the executive director at Latinan, and she's the one going to be using our product for her big event coming up in the end of July. Very, very happy to be collaborating with somebody who's serving this important community that is a big part of the United States. Thank you.
Go.
Hi there, I'm Thomas.
And I'm Rohan.
And we're the co-founders at Ledger Labs. So to begin with, I'd love to give you a quick overview of what led us here. We met while studying CS and artificial intelligence at Columbia. My first job for the first 2 years was at Charge Ventures, pre-seed and seed VC fund. And then I worked for a year at Kumo Space, which is a spatial audio video chat app.
Yeah, and during that same time, I was working as a quant at Citi on various trading teams.
So in early 2022, we started our first company, Inoki. At the time, it was a software collaboration tool for developers. We went through Antler, ran this company for about a year and a half. And 3 months ago, Rohan and I started Ledger Labs. So let me give you some context. Organizations are struggling to implement AI and enable their workforce to fully leverage AI, especially in highly regulated industries like financial services, insurance, and healthcare. The biggest blocker there that we have identified from our customer discovery calls was privacy and security. 2 ways to go about it. The first one is to use a middleman API, tools like Private AI and Skyflow, which act as a buffer between the user input and the cloud LLM provider. This marks out sensitive information. However, this solution is not viable for companies with highly sensitive data. The other alternative is for the organizations to build their entire infrastructure from scratch using tools like AWS Bedrock or Azure OpenAI. This is a lot more costly because you need at least $200,000 to hire a full-time ML infra dev. And it takes at least 5 months before they can see their actual model in production. Our solution, Ledger Labs, enables organizations to package, deploy, and monitor LLMs behind their existing private environments. This means that we enable organizations to run large language models locally on their computer. Our product is a verticalized SaaS platform that provides base models and integrates with Hugging Face, which is where the data science team typically iterate on their ML models. Non-technical users can then interact with these models locally and privately as if they were using ChatGPT. And finally, our product handles all the monitoring and observability layer, which lets compliance trace back every single interaction they had with the AI, reducing hallucinations and ultimately using it to improve the model over time. So in terms of traction, currently we have, last month we had 20K in revenue coming from our 3 paid pilots. The 2 first ones are in the insurance space, Libano Suisse, Jordan, and GlobeMed, Egypt. The third one is a Miami-based real estate fund called Centro. Our customers love us because our solution can be up and running in minutes, and it enables our customers to keep full ownership over their data. So insofar, we've raised 200K from MARL, Accelerator, and Forum VC. We're very happy to be part of the Right Side Capital Management family. For this round, we're seeking between 250 to 300K, which gives us 24 months of runway. This gives us the ability to hire 2 full-time software engineers, one of which we've already had a verbal commitment from. The goal within the next 12 months would be to hit 150K annual recurring revenue, which sets us up nicely for our seed round next year. Now, some insights about our go-to-market strategy. With a clear use case for our product in the quotation process and claims management process, we're currently focused on the insurance vertical for our go-to-market strategy. We have a partnership with University of Wisconsin's Risk and Insurance Group, which is deeply connected to the US insurance market. We're also leveraging our existing warm network of global insurance companies. And another great way we have in terms of getting in front of customers is through reinsurance companies who are giving us quick access to C-suite individuals in their portfolio of insurance companies. Lastly, I'll let Rohan talk about roadmap.
Yeah, as Thomas mentioned, we're looking to close our seed round in Q1 2025, and we're hoping to get expected MRR of $40,000, and have our private beta launch and our public beta launch. And then for the remainder of 2025, we want to have our custom front end builder, our self-serve product, and our large action model library, which integrates with multimodal agents. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, glad to present to you SiteView.ai, a construction tech product based on machine learning and computer vision. In any project or organization, visuals are the first source of any data. In construction, CCTVs are not possible to install in multiple rooms of a project due to the scale and ever-changing environment during the construction phase. Now, current industry practice is to use 2D photos from smartphones and dump it into a folder like this. Now, this was my own folder when I was an engineer on site. Now, do the photos cover every inch of the project? Does this folder show progress over time? Can we know the location of the photo just by looking at that? Can we know the date of the photograph unless we right click on hundreds of photographs? Does the remote team have ready access? My manager or my architect, my client, do they have access to the progress visuals unless they have to call me every day? Now, in case of dispute, can I present these photographs as evidences? Because in construction, millions of dollars are spent in litigation. Now, the answer to all these questions is no. So the result is bad data. As per a research by Autodesk, $2.1 trillion was the loss due to bad data in 1 year alone, and $97 billion have been spent in repairs and reworks, again due to bad data in construction. We create digital twin of construction projects using a 360-degree camera mounted on the engineer's helmet. So this is the photo dump of a site engineer. So that is converted to this. A person from any part of the world with just a click can virtually walk his project from his mobile or computer screen. He can also present the whole project digitally with his teams. We have also created secondary features such as crack detection, helmet detection, and also we are working on automated progress monitoring of works. A 360-degree camera is attached to the engineer's helmet, which is connected wirelessly to our mobile application. The mobile is in his pocket, the camera is on his helmet, and he just goes about his routine site walk, and camera records the entire visual. Once he presses the upload button, our algorithm creates an automated virtual tour without human intervention. The remote user can see each and every inch of the project from his mobile or laptop. These visuals are recorded from day one and stored even after the project is completed. So we have historical record of each and every day, whatever happened on site. Construction company can save a minimum of 5 to 10% by just spending 0.1% on site view. In terms of saving, it can save on staff, no need of dedicated monitoring engineers for every project. A person can monitor multiple projects from his mobile or computer screen. It avoids rework. The decision makers know exactly what work is happening. It also saves a lot on travel time because construction projects are spread across various geographies. It also brings in efficiency in the sense a person can do multitask from his computer. I can present the whole project digitally, so no need of having in-person site meetings all the time. Virtual meetings are enough. I can track progress of whatever work is happening directly from my screen. It also serves as a good documentation tool in terms of litigation records. This also avoids disputes and also brings in transparency between all the stakeholders, wherein everybody can see what work is happening and there is no hearsay. So if a business plan, we have segregated it into first 20 customers and the next 500 customers. The reason being first 20 customers will be a highly personalized approach when we understand the right product strategy and the go-to marketing strategies before we spend heavily on the next 500 customers. Initial year, we are planning to launch only in the western part of India where the SOM is $148 million. And my target customers will be developers and architects through my personal networks, LinkedIn and email. And post that, we will be launching globally where the global TAM goes up to $14 billion. Now it is just a software we are selling. We are not into the hardware. So it will be an annual SaaS subscription, the cost for which will be $0.05 to $0.1 per square feet per year. Now this comes up to be roughly 0.1% of the project. Few recognitions. I was selected as top 60 founders by my state to be trained by Cornell University in entrepreneurship. Site was selected amongst 1200 plus applications for going national competition. I've received a couple of grant awards, one from Government of India, another from my institute, Sign IT Bombay. I've also partnered with 4 institutes and developers during the project development phase. I have filed for 4 patents in January 2024. Our team, myself, Yasha, I'm the founder. I have 13 plus of work experience in construction management. Also, he handles the tech part. He has 15 years of work experience in computer vision domain. Then there is Metrayo, Vijit, and Himar. They work on the various aspects of product development. And there are 3 more freelancers who are working with us. Pre-seed stage and seeking $80,000, which will give us a runway of 15 months. 51% will be spent on product operations, 28% in business development, and 21% as administrative cost. Using these funds, we will complete the scalable system architecture on the 4th month. 6th month onwards, we will onboard 30 plus projects generating revenue of $150,000. Post this, we will enhance our team to work on advanced product features. 15th month onwards, our target is 200 projects generating a revenue of $1.2 million, which will set stage for the next round of funding. Funds committed so far, $3,000 from MARL Accelerator and $30,000 from Mumbai-based seed investor. So construction is a $13 trillion market globally, but yet it is highly unorganized. Show what's happening on site is the commonly used phrase in construction. We want to replace that with let's site view. Thank you so much for listening.
Hi, my name is Raj, and I am the technical co-founder of Team AI. Today, I'll talk about this extraordinary opportunity to create value for the enterprise. Team AI is a software as a service and a web application. We are an early stage startup. We have a few paid customers. The product is live and has 500 users. We also have Zoom and WebEx integration, a Chrome extension, and an iOS app. This is the problem that managers face in the enterprise today. I know this because I have spent the last 5 years managing teams in the IT industry and have faced this problem firsthand. Annual team scheduling. Managers have 25 plus meetings every week and they spend 4 plus hours scheduling these meetings. There's a lack of tools to schedule meeting across companies. If you need to talk to a customer for feedback, you have to go through scheduling assistants and the turnaround time is sometimes more than 2 weeks. Lack of scheduling in the workflow. You can chat in Slack, but the moment you have to schedule a meeting with those people who you are chatting with, you need to go back to the calendar, find time for everyone, and schedule the meeting. This is a huge untapped market inside the enterprise. And these managers are a large number. There are 4.2 million of them in the US alone and 20 million worldwide. That's a staggering $96 billion market per year. So what is Team AI? Team AI is a powerful scheduling solution for the enterprise. It includes a team scheduler for managers to easily schedule with teams, contractors, and vendors, an AI scheduler for the whole team, which reduces the time to schedule by 90%, a group calendar tool to schedule meetings with externals directly, and integrations so scheduling can be part of your workflow. So a team scheduler creates a free time calendar for all team members, irrespective of their location, time zone, and convenient time. This saves 4 plus hours per manager per week. That's like $12,000 per year value created per manager. AI Scheduler is the Jarvis for meeting scheduling. It's an AI-powered meet bot where you no longer have to look at the calendar to find time. You can save up to 40 hours for the whole team. You can speak or type, and it does the scheduling for you. With Team AI, you can create a project group and add externals, pool free times for all of them, and schedule meeting in seconds. There's no need to go back and forth with expensive executive assistants. It supports multiple calendars and multiple companies. And then last of all, with TeamCal integration enablers, scheduling can be part of your workflow. You can schedule a follow-up meeting while you are on a Zoom call. We already have integration with Slack, Zoom, and Gmail, and planning for these future integrations. So this is what the scheduling landscape looks like. Most of these are focused on a single user and appointment booking. TeamCal AI is meant for multiple team collaboration. We are an all-in-one scheduling solution, not a one-time booking link. We started with multiple teams as our core problem, and we also have AI scheduler, which puts us in the forefront. We have a subscription-based model. Our base plan starts at $99 per month for a team of 25 members. For a medium-sized company, it can come up to $10,000 per year. And for an enterprise, the plan starts at $100,000 per year. Here's the founding team. We have a very strong technical, product, and experienced salespeople. We also have a small team of talented engineers. We are asking for 1.5 million. Most of the fund use will be for product development and sales and marketing. And here's our roadmap. We're planning to launch the Adi bot this quarter, get SOC 2 ready. We'll be fundraising after that. Next year, we plan to do some deep integration with Outlook and Salesforce and get up to 100 customers when we are ready for Series A. And there's one more thing. We have some happy customers. So to summarize, enterprise lack a scheduling solution. There are no tools for client meetings, and there's a lack of scheduling in the workflow. This is a huge untapped market of $96 billion per year. We are looking for 1.5 million seat fund. We have a strong team, paid pilot customers, 500 users, and the timing is right with AI and post-COVID. Our vision is to become the #1 scheduling solution for the enterprise and help 100,000 companies in the next 5 years. So thank you, and let's make the world more productive.
So my name is Amos Kimani. I am the CEO and co-founder at Tausia.
Hello, my name is Wadua Karaoke. I'm the COO and co-founder at Tausi.
Now, I was a Kenyan musician between 2013 all the way to 2018. I made amazing music. I always wanted to get beauty services on the go, something about a fresh haircut while you are on set. But it was always hard to find a makeup artist, a barber to agree to come on set. But every time we ordered an Uber, the driver came and they never felt any way conflicted. So we kept asking ourselves, how can we help beauticians feel as safe as drivers do? So I quit music and I started Tausia.
In my 18 years career, I have worked in the beauty industry, joining a manufacturer of beauty products after graduating with the chemical engineering degree, rising all the way to head of research and development. When I met Amos, Tausia was born.
Awesome. So what is Tausia? Tausia is a tech platform that connects quality beauticians while leveraging on AI to quality beauty services, and you get the services on the go. Our vision is to drive a change in habits, and our mission is to provide opportunities for skilled beauticians. So which problems are we solving, you might ask yourselves? Africa lacks streamlined and convenient personalized beauty services, and we are solving the problem we're solving can be dissected into two: beauticians' problems and clients' problems. Approximately 1 in every 15 gig economy workers is assaulted or stolen from. It takes around 24 months to make a minimum wage as a beautician, and 60% cite clients acquisition as a major problem for beauticians. Clients also feel safety concerns. 45% of their clients report dissatisfaction with the services, and more than 1 hour waiting time is wasted in the salon. So what solution do we have?
The solution that we have is that we have provided a verification process for both beauticians and clients, and offering emergency support in case any one of those presses on the SOS button. We are giving business support to our beauticians using AI matching to let the jobs be optimized. And we are allowing you to book in the real time, 30 minutes from now up to 30 days for your beauty services.
So why now? It's because Africa is growing. It's a virgin market. The gig economy is actually growing, and every growing industry deserves some new tech as well. So the market opportunity is quite huge. Africa is a $66 billion industry. We're looking at 10% CAGR. There's over 200 million urban African women, and they spend around $15 on beauty services, and we're only targeting 5% of
that will translate to 1.8 billion US dollars.
Our competitors, we have competitors outside the country. BeautyLink, StyleSeat, ClampCode. Our advantage is that we're using AI to offer personalized beauty services, and all traditional salons, we have the data, they actually don't. Our product's amazing. You get to see a beautician's profile. You get to search by service, see their work as well. You can book now or 30 days from now. Our business model is B2B2C. We earn 20% transaction fee on every in-app transaction, and we have a subscription model as well. Our transactions?
Our customer value, lifetime value is at about 3,000 US dollars. We are looking at doing an ARR of 72,000, which will come from the services that we offer, the subscriptions and the loans. And we are looking at now starting at $2.5 per user per year to growing it to about $15 per user per year.
So we've won some amazing awards. We also came in third place at the SSS Dubai competition. We came in second place at the Startup World Cup last year. We have some amazing strategic partnerships. Maybelline is our beauty product company partnership. They give 40% acquisition cost on our beauty products. We have Lipa Later as well. They give loans to our beauticians and to the clients. Linton's and other 100 beauty colleges, they help with the verification process, and Bolt moves our beauticians from point A to point B as well. So that is Tausia. I am the CEO, the creative.
I am Odua Karaoke, the COO, an entrepreneur at heart.
And we have Leonard, who's seated at Dallas. He's our CTO. Suzy Okabi runs Suzy Beauty Products in Kenya. It's one of the biggest beauty products. Irene was Miss Tanzania and runs a women community-based platform. And John Kamara is a serial entrepreneur who invested a pre-seed round on us. So we're here asking for $450,000 investment. We've raised 150K so far. This is going to be our 18 months runway. And the plan is to actually do 1 million job connections in Africa.
This will be used in product development, marketing, operations, and in beautician training and standardization of service.
Thank you. That is Tausia. If you have any questions, we will be glad to answer them.
Hello, my name is Dewi Baziraki, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Ziramba. I welcome you to the future of e-commerce and construction. So what is Ziramba? Ziramba is a platform that connects construction contractors to quality suppliers, material financing, and clients in Africa. We sit right in between e-commerce and construction. Now, what is the problem we're solving? Now, in the African market, according to customer interviews we made, as well as market research, we found out pertinent problems experienced by our two main stakeholders. For the contractors, 80% of them said they have no access to the quality materials they need for their projects. They're wasting time looking for these products, resulting into project delays. 95% of them said that they're tired and frustrated of finding this different prices for the same product from different suppliers. Now, for the suppliers, 95% of them are incurring high marketing costs, not even resulting into the revenue expectation they have. 75% of them don't have logistics and transportation, causing an inconvenience to their buyers. 80% of them do not have a website or online digital storefront. Now, this is where Ziramba comes in. We are here to connect. We connect the contractors to the suppliers. The benefit to the contractors is that through our e-commerce platform, they get access to 200 plus suppliers. They can order all the products that they need for their projects in less than 30 minutes, thanks to the use of AI and the automation of a bill of materials. Now, we have good price transparency on our platform, thanks to the variety of suppliers. On the flip side, with our suppliers, we're seeing a 30% reduction in marketing costs of the suppliers who have onboarded with us. We offer a cost-effective delivery service thanks to the network of logistic partners. Now, we extend enterprise web services to suppliers and large contractors in the form of web development, supply chain management systems, analytics, amongst others. So why should you care about Ziramba and why should we exist now? 70% of the buildings needed in Africa by 2040 do not exist. They haven't yet been built. 63% of the contractors we interviewed have challenges with material costs and shortages. We're seeing a growth in the number of internet users in Africa at an average annual growth rate of 23%. Now keep this in mind. 1 billion people need housing in Africa by 2050, and that's why we're here. Now, to expand a bit more on the market opportunity, we're starting with Rwanda, and the construction industry is sized at 1 billion. Our core target market is Africa at 58 billion, and the sky is the limit with the global construction industry valued at 15 trillion. Now, keep in mind, Ziramba sits right in between e-commerce and construction. So how does our product work? We create a win-win situation for the contractor and the supplier. A contractor walks in with their bill of materials, uploads it, contacts us. We generate an automated cart and allow them to purchase their products in less than 30 minutes. For the suppliers, we're creating a seamless process, easy to onboard their materials. Then they can manage their orders and inquiries, ultimately making sales. And that is a win-win situation. How do we make money? We charge a 3% transaction fee for any products or services going through our platform. In the future, we hope to offer financing, which will look at a 10 to 20% interest rate. And we also extend enterprise solutions through a subscription service. So who's the team behind this? This is us, led by me, a data scientist with industry experience working for Fortune 500 companies such as Walmart and Nike. And I feel really strong about the talents that my team has in marketing and tech. Okay, in terms of competition, Ziramba stands strong against the competition. We have a niche focus on contractors and suppliers in the construction industry and leveraging technology to make these entities successful. In terms of roadmap, where are we today? We participate in the MARL studio. We've launched our MVP and we have a couple sales made. Our number of manufacturers is 29, contractors 15, and in about a year's time, we're hoping to expand to regional markets within East Africa, increase the count of manufacturers and contractors, ultimately leading into higher orders, revenue, and ultimately profit. So we're here today asking for $250,000 to truly support the product development, marketing and operations for our company. We've been successful at raising $35,000 so far, and we believe $250,000 will help us go to the next level. So Ziramba is here to connect the contractors and suppliers, making them successful, ultimately increasing the housing capacity in Africa and around the world. Thank you very much.
All right, great, thank you. So now we'll be ready for the panel discussion. So Tomas, who will be our moderator, and I will also invite our speakers, Nicholas, Merlin, and Rachna.
All right, good to see everyone.
Hello.
Hello, Thomas.
Hello.
Hey, Thomas. Good to see you, Ben.
Good to see you too. I think we're all here. Thanks, Luis, for the handoff, and very happy to see all my other cohort members give such amazing 5-minute presentations. Best of luck to everyone. Thanks for having us today. I'd like to introduce each one of our panelists first. Luis, do you have control over the deck?
I do indeed.
So I'm just gonna message you or ping you every time we need to skip a slide, if that's okay.
Sounds good.
All right, so let's go to the next slide. So yes, Nick, please tell us all about your life.
Oh man, too much to tell, but I started BundleIQ. I'll just tell you about the professional aspect of it. In 2019 was kind of the first AI-powered personal knowledge management system even back then. So now getting into investor meetings, I get to explain that we built a RAG engine before it was even a word or an acronym. But we basically have quickly become, I think, according to some researchers, the #1 AI research tool on the internet. So that's a little bit about me. I'm in South Florida in Miami. So if there's any founders that make it to South Florida and want to connect, I also have a business incubator with about 230 founders that operate out of our space, our 9,000 square foot space in West Palm Beach, Florida. So nice to meet everyone. Thank you.
Nice. Awesome. Thank you. Next slide.
Is it me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, good. Yeah, so Merlin Yamssi, I'm part of Google Cloud, partner engineering. I work with the AI/ML COE. So we help our partners to build generative AI solutions in their own product. But I have many other hats, right? I also angel investor. I'm also advisor for startups. So I have almost founders in another company. So I have many different, very different hats.
Awesome. Happy to have you on board, Merlin, and on to the next slide.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Rachna Dayal. I am the founder and managing partner of Sugati Ventures. We're a small venture capital fund that is focused on medical devices and health tech platforms. I'm an engineer by training that moved into healthcare. So all machines and devices and technologies, I have a very sweet and soft spot for that. I'm happy to be here. I live in the Bay Area and I love traveling across the globe.
Awesome. Yeah, so next slide, please. So thank you all. I already gave a short intro about myself over that video. Just a quick recap. I'm a founder. I used to be an investor. To me, those are very much the same sport. And I'm very happy to have such a rich group of individuals to start asking questions today. The first topic I had, and I'm gonna ask these questions to the open, and whoever's interested in answering first, it will be all theirs. The first topic we have is looking at AI from pilot to production. So more specifically, the concept of optimizing AI applications. So at this point, some organizations have already been leveraging AI for years. So I was wondering, sort of beyond the minimum viable product, what are some key challenges that AI companies encounter or organizations encounter when going from proof of concept into production? So Merlin, I think, sorry to throw you under the bus, but this pretty much fits exactly your expertise. So would love to hear your thoughts on that.
So yeah, I mean, working at Google is probably also a good way to bring that, because we've been innovating in this area for many years, designing the transformer in 2017 and building all those LLMs that are currently powering a lot of those applications right now. And yeah, so last year we saw a lot of hype around building generative AI application, for example, and a lot of experimentation went underway. But this year is more about productization, right? How do you productionalize that? How do you get into production? And that is exactly where we're seeing a lot of challenge from enterprises, mainly because enterprise care about security, about safety, about bias, about many of these things. So as we know, the LLMs or the generative AI world is not really. There's still a lot of hallucination that happen, right? And a company that doesn't want to put in production something that could be could fire back, right? So there are a lot of caution on that, more on the safety, security, privacy. But there are techniques, to solve those things, like you do RAG. Nicolas was talking about building RAG system, advanced RAG system, to ground the answer into very specific data and domain expertise, so that the solution is more accurate and the quality is better. So you have leveraging like more clean data set, right? The data set that need to be You need to the data that you use in the POC and the data that you use in production may not be the same, right? So you need to have a kind of a robust pipeline of data validation, right? To be able to do the cleaning, the monitoring of all those things to make sure that things are correct. Also, some of the thing that I see is on the observability, because when you run a GenAI in production, I mean, on POC you can test it, you can find it pretty cool, but when it's in production, something happened, and you don't know why. It could be very dangerous, right? So, and it's critical, and you don't know how to mitigate that. So observability is something that is currently needed on LLM ops in general, right? How do I make sure that, I track everything and mitigate as we go through? So these are some of the challenges that I see currently, and this is probably why a lot of those applications are not going into production right now. But I think we're working on making those things better as we go.
Totally. For a moment there, it sounded like you were pitching my startup. but yes, these are definitely problems we have encountered also from our customer discovery calls and such. Nicholas, Rachna, anything else you would like to add to that on optimizing AI applications?
Yeah, some thoughts here. I think I agree with almost everything that Merlin said, right? Putting on an investor's lens here, when we look at startups that can prove an MVP very, very quickly with small amount of data sets, and I talk especially for startups that are getting into the predictive mode, right? So not necessarily totally generative, but even if you're doing a little bit of predictability for future modeling, you need to know what are the guardrails and the boundaries you're going to put around that production, right? Because in healthcare, it's a very specific, very unique kind of application. There are certain things that you can't do. There's certain regulations that you can't beat. And so there are guardrails that need to be put, and everything that you're doing in predictive modeling has to respect that. It's a highly regulated environment. Healthcare could be one, energy could be another one, right? And transportation could be a third one, especially when it comes to airlines and modeling for flights and all of that. I think when I look at entrepreneurs who are working on that, I also look at how strong have you built your team and knowledge base. So it's not about the AI, it's about the individual that is leading the AI to create these solutions. And very often they're not, I find that these are nuances that they're not difficult to learn, but you need to immerse yourself. If you're coming from the tech world and you want to make an impact in health tech, you must immerse yourself and understand the nuances. Talk to as many people, not just in one line, talk to as many patients and payers and providers and clinicians. And I know everybody tells me it's not easy to do that. I know that. Nothing new is easy to do. Nothing worth something is easy to do. But if you don't immerse yourself and understand, you will be building the wrong predictive models and hence the wrong solution and hence the wrong company going forward. And that would be money wasted and effort wasted. And who has time, when you can actually, like entrepreneurs could be a little bit more careful about, because ultimately if you want to sell these solutions to big enterprises, they won't pardon these mistakes in regulated industries.
Totally. And this is relevant, I think, in any entrepreneurial venture, knowing every single actor in your market, in your space, how they behave and what matters to them generally is true, but especially with AI, because you have the added complexity of making sure the model does what it's supposed to do. That was great. Nick, anything you want to add here before I move on to the next topic?
I think that the biggest thing is really just stress testing. So a POC, something you do in a hackathon, or you can do in a 2-week, 1-month period of time, is way different when you're talking about ingesting. I mean, we have over 70 million pages of data in our system, and we had to re-index our system, and it costs. I gave Merlin a $35,000 check in December for Google services. So at scale, it's a totally different ballgame than using some of these frameworks like LangChain or whatever off the shelf. So that being said, I think it's really, really, really important to understand what it looks like to ingest and run data at scale. That's the probably obvious 2 cents, but yeah, and there's a lot to be learned there.
This is great. Yeah, thanks for all of those. That's a wrap. I mean, this is the input. This is how important it is, today. And the fact that these practices aren't in place also means that there's an opportunity for founders like us, Nick, to get in there, and investors like the rest of you folks to place your bets. If you could go to the next slide, Luis. Thank you. So tactics with AI, this is a topic that's also very, very close to my heart. We're talking about sort of pricing strategies in the AI world. And the big question for me there is, how is AI changing traditional pricing model? What are some new pricing strategies that are emerging in the AI landscape? Yeah, if anybody wants to give me their 2 cents on how AI needs new pricing models and how to choose the best ones for the businesses.
Billion-dollar question. If you can answer it, Thomas, you're going to make trillions of dollars. I say that because AI is making a lot of jobs obsolete. I'll give you an example from my industry, and some of the other VCs might hate me for saying this, but traditionally in VC firms, big VC firms, you have the junior analyst, the senior analyst, the junior principal, the senior principal, venture partners and investors, right? The GPs. I'm already using a firm, and Prakash knows about this. He introduced me to it. I'm using a firm that does the job of an analyst for me. Faster, cheaper, better, less errors. I can go back and do multiple iterations, change the variables. An AI platform is doing it for me. And I love it. And so the job of the junior, the senior analyst, and the junior principal, they're already gone. If you do a calculation of what that costs across the entire VC industry in the globe, put a number to it. I can't. I don't have the database to be able to do that. We probably will all see it. We can wait for the pitch book results for that. And across many industries, this is going to happen. So how do you price something like this? It's very early stages. I think this can be priced at very low cost right now because, you still have people in their jobs, people are changing. I'll give you the example of Uber. When Uber first came, it was so cheap that everybody moved to it. Now, when I land at an airport and I have to go to my meeting in an Uber and you have surge pricing, it's the price of diamond. I can't afford it, right? It's like you have to go for 20 minutes and it's going to charge you $200. They do it because the people who were driving taxis, they've kind of made them obsolete. So now they can do it. I think this is what's going to happen to AI pricing. This is how human greed works. It can come in cheap and easy now, but if we don't put regulations around pricing around it, which in a free capital market like US, you probably won't, it's going to become more expensive than humans doing that same job. Maybe the job is better done. Maybe it's more efficient. I don't know, but I think we're going to see that in the future. That's my prediction, if I've learned anything from history.
Totally. That's a pretty profound one. It is a scary one. It's a reality probably we're going to have to adapt to very soon. So Nick, Merlin, anything else?
I actually asked our team to remove our pricing remove all the columns of the pricing off of our pricing page yesterday, and just put a form. And I'll tell you why, because there's top-down pressure, and Rachna spoke to this briefly, but there's top-down pressure from every single major enterprise to create an AI task force and figure out how they're going to enhance productivity gains and augment intelligence within their institutions. And the reality is that if you're a $2 billion law firm, what's the value of running 1 million pages in a case through an AI that can help you connect the dots faster than 12, 15 paralegals could? It's not going to be based on prompts, I'll tell you that. So so looking through kind of like the crystal ball, like what does that world look like? Well, it's value-based pricing and it's also usage-based pricing. So it's kind of a combination of both. And I came up with the 3 Ps. So people, pages, and prompts. So people are giving access to licenses to the software. Just an admission ticket to the concert costs you X amount. And then the pages is how much data are you managing in this system? Because it's no longer is it static information. This is smart data. This is you're running machine learning on all this information. And the last is prompts, which is whether it's an agentic, an AI agent or human actually creating queries. That we know that it's at least a 10x cost of what a search is. So, and that's a race to the bottom eventually. But that's why I say it's kind of a combination of both value based pricing and usage overall. So that's my take. These are my lessons over the last four years going out to market, and I hope that's helpful.
Yeah, that was great. Very macro, and now very, very into the micro day-to-day decisions a founder needs to make to answer this question. Merlin, anything to add?
Yeah, to add to that, we've been through that, at Google, and I think the typical traditional way of charging resources, like if you're a cloud company, what do you charge? You charge resources, right? But with the AI, we are seeing a shift on this type of charging because it's becoming too expensive if you just want to charge the resources. So we are looking at options like you were saying, Nick, some of the value-based pricing, which instead of charging for the resource, you charge for the value that the AI generates, right? And then you can also charge outcome-based charging, right? The pricing. So you charge for the outcome. You create a measurable business outcome, which is driven by the AI, and you charge for that, right? So this is one side of the charging that we're seeing. And then of course the subscription. You saw the advanced version of Gemini, the advanced version of ChatGPT, which add a subscription-based pricing to that, so that you can get more user for advanced feature that you're providing. So these are the different area where we see emerging into the pricing landscape.
Totally. In a world where we're now converting electricity into creativity, it makes sense to adopt, very much like a pay-as-you-go structure. But then when you start looking at, the more ROI-based, value-based pricing,
exactly. Yes,
it is the billion-dollar question, really. I think time will tell, and some very interesting, academic papers will come out of it in 20 years. Can we go to the next slide, please? Great. Yeah. So now, we like to look into. So, and this is something you'll mentioned on for the first question. We're looking at responsibility and ethics in a. Oh well, actually, never mind. There is a question before that. So, we are at least more than half of the companies in my cohort from MARL. We act as SaaS product managers in AI. So my question here is, how is AI shifting customer expectation, specifically in the B2B SaaS market? And how, as a product manager, or at least as founders currently wearing the PM hat, how should we respond to these new demands and expectations from the B2B enterprise segments?
Nicola, want to go first?
Yeah, I'm trying to wrap my mind around what that actually means. It's kind of like, can you use it in a sentence? Look, I think the reality is it's such early days. There's this theoretical idea of what AI can do and what its practical application actually looks like. And there's a bit of dissonance between, and disparity between those two worlds. We're already talking about, AGI and supercomputing and all this stuff, but we have like fundamental, challenges to solve for when it comes to just organizing and normalizing data and getting departments and getting people on the same page. So, I think it kind of, I don't remember who said it, but I think it was Rachna said it, or somebody said, like, really getting intimate with your customers profile and the things that they are, those pain points that they're, trying to solve will help you shape shift your roadmap of the things that you think you're trying to solve, and take it from a founder that's been at this for 5 years. And I've spent over $1 million, building this technology before there were APIs I could even hook up to. So it's like, the early days of Hugging Face. So we've definitely been super early, but as soon as ChatGPT came out, I was like, holy crap, well, conversation as an interface is the new interface. And now it's just like, just talk to a device and tell it what you want to do. And so now AI, agents are the new, are sort of the new workflow toolkits for these types of, these products. So as a product owner, product manager, I mean, being really intimate with the customer and the customer's pain points are certainly going to be helpful, even though they honestly, a lot of them don't even know exactly what they want, which is also a challenge. So.
Yeah. You flipped the question on me there. You answered. It all depends on the customer, and sure thing. I agree. Anybody want to add something or any thoughts?
So one thing that I have seen here is that you need to solve for product managers. Frankly, you need to solve a real problem, right? Because typically people just add AI because AI is cool, right? Like I saw a lot of projects that started like, we have this project, we want to add AI. So for what? So try to solve a real problem. That's probably number one. And also maybe one on the user experience, right? Integrating AI can make it seamless and intuitive for existing workflow application, for example. There are several use cases where we see existing workflow that are very complex, and then you leverage AI to make that seamless and then make it better. And then you also have like things like personalization, customization, where you want to tailor something to a specific user, because you know the user, you know the historic of the user, you know the contextual information of the user, so you can tailor more things into that. So this is one side, and then the other side for some of the B2B is more on the legacy system, right? You have all these companies with the legacy system. They want to integrate AI in all their system. It's very challenging. So you need to maybe transform first your existing legacy system before adding the AI. Adding some of microservices approach, and then adding AI like API-based solution to that. And the data, right? So the data silos, right? Data is everywhere. So building implementing a data integration, strategy is usually one of the first things that in a B2B SaaS offering you would want to do, because the data, AI is bound to data, right? Creating a clear understanding of the data integration strategy would be pretty helpful for building the solution and solving the problem on top.
Yep. Right on.
Couple of things from my side. One of them linked to what Merlin said, but slightly different. When someone's pitching to me now, I'm looking for bigger ideas. Because with generative AI and code and reference code being available so easily, incremental steps don't matter. Somebody's going to do it. The investors and managers, and customers are now looking for the bigger ideas. Where is your innovation? Where is your thought process? Or are you just building a shell around something that, that's been taken from open source? Because then anybody can come and append you, and you have no, So the shift towards bigger ideas is going to happen unless until the incremental change that you're making has been hard to get to, has been a hard one to solve for whatever reason. And that takes me into the field of insights, like Merlin was mentioning. Maybe you have an insight that helps you incrementally solve something that then opens up the gateway to something big. Now in healthcare, a lot of the insight generation and quality of data depends on the quality of the network and partnerships you build. So not only are you looking at the product manager who's developing something, I'm looking at what she or he actually brings to the table as a network. How do they get access to the right kind of data for these big ideas. You can't have small and broken data sets that can help you solve bigger problems, right? So the quality of your network, your partnerships becomes very important. May not be true in every vertical, but in healthcare, it's still very, very true.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Quick question or revision there for you. So when you talk about the big ideas, are you referring to simply more ambitious projects, or simply trying to tackle problems with bigger TAMs, or do you mean something else by that?
Bigger task, bigger impact, because a lot of the SaaS companies, before generative AI was actually the buzzword. Gen AI has existed in labs and other companies for 15 years. People don't realize that, right? It's or maybe longer. AI has been in the works for 50 years, right? I don't think the average population understands that. When I say big ideas, I saw in the last decade a lot of startups until generative AI that were doing incremental changes, and the whole startup was built around tweaking this for SEO, tweaking that for CRM. Guess what? That era, I sincerely hope that era is behind us, because that was such a waste of energy, money, and statistically that led to fewer startups actually making big exits. And that's what's given the VC industry such a bad name in the last decade, right? Because we funded those things. That's our fault, nobody else's. I really wish and hope that era is behind us.
For sure, the quality of the available tooling for everyone has just increased so much in the last 2 years that at least on average, it's likely to be more ambitious. Now, hopefully it can step up along with the leap in technology. Those are really good. Anybody want to add anything on this topic before I move on to the next?
I just want to say that that's a really, really good insight for people to take note of. That was like a real golden nugget. If you don't think of anything else, like, take note of that, because it's true. I started fundraising again, and the thing that I thought I was going to talk about, that's sort of like the obvious pain point that you're solving, ended up being super noisy and not really that interesting. So investors, especially in the Gen AI era now, have heard 300 pitches a month or whatever the number is, coming at it from a different angle and thinking well beyond like what GPT-5 is going to offer is really essential. So I've even pivoted on the way I pitch our software.
Totally appreciate that. Luis, can we hop onto the next slide and the final topic for the day? Yeah, so this is always, it has to be a component of every single AI talk we attend, which is responsibility and ethics in AI. With great powers come great responsibility, the whole thing. And so how do you ensure that AI technologies are inclusive, do not perpetuate biases, and how important is transparency in AI today?
So if I start with that one, typically you need to ensure that you are using diverse data, right? Because AI start with data. If you train a model on data set that represents a certain type, the AI will just do that, right? So to avoid that, to have an inclusive AI, first you need to have diverse data. That's probably the number one. For detecting bias and mitigating bias, we have a lot of tooling, right, and techniques, that you can leverage we provide a set of safety checks, right? So things that you can add to the LLM tooling to identify bias, and also to detect on the model output something that is not needed and then remove that, right? So you have tooling around that, safety checks. And then third, you may have human in the loop, what we usually do, like HLF, reinforced learning for human feedback, with human feedback. So this incorporates some human view and having someone to to kind of look at the potential bias, but and ensure fairness on that. And usually what people also do is to create a ethical a board, a kind of a team. People are getting rid of teams like right now, but yeah, you need to have a team of people expert of ethical and bias, right? To make sure that when you build a model, you have people that are looking, overlooking at what you do and make sure that you are building something responsible that that ethical implication for your AI solution. So that's some of the things that we've been doing in what we call responsible AI.
Mhm.
And you really need to have that in place from the beginning, right, to make sure of that.
So high quality data, human in the loop. That's great.
Yeah, an ethical team, and a team to overlook everything that you built.
Yeah, and transparency is so important.
Yes.
I'm laughing at this because ultimately the AI is just a mirror. It's like holding up a mirror to human content. So there's inherently bias in everything that we create. So there's no eliminating bias. But that being said, I think it's important to, and I think a lot of the conversation is like it's generative, right? So this is sort of the first AI that's not logic bound. It's like not like a calculator. You don't know, you can ask the question 5 times and you don't know what's going to come out of it because it's a predictive model. So a lot of what we're talking about here typically applies to LLMs. And so, we're talking about putting guardrails up, so to speak, because 99.9% of startups aren't going to build their own, foundational model. So the good news is it's becoming a bit more of a commodity. So you can kind of pick the model off the shelf or, the zero shot model or whatever it is that sort of helps solve the problem and link those things together. So I think it's an important conversation to have around, the core values of your company. But when it comes to a startup, like, most of us aren't going to be able to control anything that comes out of these models. We're just going to have to use what we have and sort of link things together to solve problems more holistically. So that's sort of my viewpoint on it.
You've asked a very complex question, so I'm going to speak to 3 points quickly and not take too much time. One is I think AI and Gen AI are having 2 kinds of impacts on industries. Industries that have kept up with technology, they're enabling them. Industries that did not keep up, they're disrupting them. Take education, for example. Our education system, even in one of the most progressive countries in the world like US, it sucks. I have to say this. I'm sorry. It's just not up to the mark. High school is still taught like it was taught, 100 years ago, versus the kind of jobs we need to do when we graduate are very, very different. So that's where I think the question of ethics, we should take a deeper look because it's getting disrupted. And when disruption happens, everybody's game, everything's game, right? And that's where the responsibility factor needs to be a little bit more. That's one way of looking at ethics. Second thing I want to mention about ethics is there are certain industries where the ethical questions are very, very difficult. Healthcare, I'll give you another example beyond healthcare, autonomous driving. You go into questions, if an accident cannot be avoided, do you save the old lady or do you save the child with the chicken or whatever, These are very deep psychological, ethical questions. And these are now being evaluated and coded into AI and giving with a touch of predictability and all of that based on ethical traits that have been defined for the last few centuries, whereas none of the humans behave in that manner, right? But the machine that is being coded is supposed to behave in a manner that we deem ethical in one culture, because most of that is being developed in US and Europe. I don't think that ethical standards are being brought on from other cultures like Asia or, what have you. Ethics is very subjective. People don't like to hear that. But ethics is very subjective of the era, of culture. And so I think whatever we are generating as ethical boundaries in AI may work for now or may work for one country. I'd love to see what a true global picture looks like. And I'll give you an example that has nothing to do with ethics and how the world views things. There's a World Happiness Report, an index that's generated every year, where Finland is the top country in the world. Do you know that Finland also has the highest suicide rates per percentage of population? Most of these measurements and systems and indices and ethics or happiness, they're all broken. They were decided by one subculture of people living in one continent that at that point happened to be at the top of the world, and now everybody is listening to it. So I think ethics need to be reevaluated as we define the boundaries and responsibilities for AI.
Totally,
I'm sorry, I don't give you the standard answer, but
this
very deep question.
Appreciate the honesty. Our systems are definitely, or the fragility of our systems are definitely going to be heavily stress tested in the next 5 to 10. So, but we're all ready. Hopefully everybody on this call has a strategy in case of AI apocalypse. But in the meantime, as founders, as investors, we'll keep playing in these waters until one of us strikes gold. Luis, can we go to the next slide? I think we're right on time, but would love to open up the floor if we have time for questions. Otherwise, we'll see. Are we able to get a few questions for the panelists, Luis?
Yeah, we should be able to have a few questions. If you have any questions for the panel, please put them in the chat, and I'll be able to send them to them as well.
All right, so we'll have a few seconds while people type. That was a pretty packed 35 minutes, I have to say. I wish I could have taken more notes, but yeah, really interesting points all over. So thank you.
Great, yeah, thank you. It was very instructive. The panel will also, of course, is recorded as is the rest of demo day. So we'll be also bringing keynotes after as part of the recap.
Also, I'll just say if anyone wants to reach out to me, I'm on the MARL Slack channel still, our Slack account, because I went through the program a couple years ago. So happy to talk about getting your AI into production or anything relating to pricing or anything else.
Great. Thank you, Nick. Looks like we're pretty clear on the questions. I don't see anything in the chat right now. So thank you so much to the panel. And of course, thank you so much, Thomas, for moderating.
My pleasure.
Great.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, Amir, the floor is yours for the closing remarks.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate you taking some time and being part of our demo day. Thank you for being engaging. Comments and questions you all had for the presenters initially. And I do have a few closing remarks talking about it. Next slide, please. Luis, next slide, please. Yeah, thank you. So a few things, we talked about every cohort. We have something new going on. I mean, this cohort, as you all know, Buzzable is one of our portfolio company, and they are really bringing sponsors and event organizers together. We do host about one or two. We try to do at least once a month a panel event in San Francisco Bay Area, either it's the South Bay or in the city. We partner with Buzzable, and to keep an eye on our events in future, download the Buzzable app. It is right there. It is free app. You can download Android and iOS and keep a tab on events. Or if you want to organize an event yourself, you can actually sign up as an event organizer and apply for sponsorships. They partner with, as they were talking about, they partner about 20-25 brands who are interested in sponsoring startup focus events and other events that could be a part of their portfolio. So definitely check that out. Next thing I always want to talk about, saying we are always looking to grow our community, if you have some time on your hands and you are SME, you want to mentor in a company, please talk to us. We are always taking good mentors who can help our portfolio out and work alongside with them. We are also looking for follow-on partners. We have here investors who are part of a follow-on network. We're always growing that. As of right now, we have about 1,000 plus follow-on investors in the US, and we are growing that as much as we can possibly. So to be that said, we also have a partnership with a company called GetMVP.com. GetMVP, that actually provides startup in a box service. So if you're a startup founder who is looking for like accounting, you're looking for yearly annual tax, development on MVP side, on mobile, web, annual registration agent, they have it all. They have a startup in box, one service that takes care of everything. They're a good partner of ours, and we're looking forward to for startups to work with them. And last but not the least, we are always looking for new companies. If you are excited to be part of our next cohort, there's a QR code. Log in and apply for our next cohort companies. Fall cohort begins generally in August. We're always looking to talk to companies, and as early as you are, apply. We'd love to talk to you nonetheless. Next slide, please. Once again, thank you, Carta. Thank you, One Valley, for being part of our sponsors today for the demo day. Thank you all for being here. Please reach us at any time you want. Myself, Amir, at marlaccelerator.com. Same goes with Luis and Prakash. And thank you. And until next time, if you have any other questions, if you want intros to these startups, just let us know. We'll be happy to make the intros. Thank you all. Prakash, Luis, can you bring up also?
Yep. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming to Demo Day today. We'll send you a recap email with all of the information. And other than that, we wish you an excellent day.
All right. Until next time. Thank you, guys. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.